Getting to make very, very famous, well-known coffee beers for a long time, multiple partners throughout the city of Chicago. We've had, the privilege of working with some really ridiculously interesting brains, almost every approach you could possibly think about. But definitely the one that kind of stands out as tried and true is the team from Revolution. At least for Dark Matter in itself, I'm humbled to still be a powerful part of the Chicago community. And I feel like it's the decades of work we've invested into our teams, our patrons, the city of Chicago. It's really beautiful to watch Revolution grow up as well. They are iconic, and even a company like Dark Matter looks up to the amount of work they put in to the Chicago scene, to being, taking the risk of being a big production brewer. How many employees they have, like all of the risk that you take in that size. It was just a good investment into the city of Chicago and its people, and I think they've done a hell of a job being a pillar of the community and the craft beer scene. And they set out to do exactly what they're doing, and it's really inspiring to see it happening.
We started out with the brew pub on Milwaukee Avenue, and just getting open was the goal at the beginning, and then like soon after, it was just really solid demand and business. We were having a good time making great food. Jim was brewing just phenomenal beers. The beers just took off. People kept asking, when can I get this beer to pour at my bar? Or like, ever thought about putting this into bottles or cans? And we're like, well, we thought about it, but that wasn't the business plan at the get-go. And so then it took like a shift of mind to get into growth mode. It happened pretty quick, but it seems like almost like forget the days that wasn't part of who we are and what we do. Always innovating new beers. At the brew pub, it was always about like pairing beers with food. Seasonal beers that we could make was a big thing. We had a seasonal program from the get-go, right? And just like for coffee, you try to find the right moment. Maybe a different coffee for a different moment. And you want to tell a story with the coffee, you want to tell a story with the beer. Once you start getting into production and you're based in a big city like Chicago, early on where we could make some beer and put it out there and it would just disappear, people would be like, more, I want more. And why can't I get your beer over here? And it took a little while to ramp that up in terms of years of building a facility and a crew, but that's how it got from here to there.
I think one of the raddest things that we've accomplished with our company is taking inspiration from outside of the coffee industry. Craft beer was a massive influence, from artistic expression to just kind of pushing boundaries of flavor. The whole Americana feeling of craft beer in the Chicago industry was just, it was palpable, and we learned an absolute ton from it.
We weren't the first ones to put coffee and stout together. It's like a natural fit in our world, right? I think of like Red Hook coffee stout was really like the first commercial one that I remember seeing. But we really improved coffee and stout and how they can work together. And that's every year, it's like try to one up the year before, try to give the beer more time in the barrel, try to do what we can. We're brewing the wort and we're making the beer, make it a little sweeter, sometimes a little more nuanced with that roast coming from the malt. Same thing with you working with your coffee every year and tasting, because the coffee changes too. And you have to be ready to change every year just to make the best batch you can put out every year. So we really have perfected it.
I knew Josh already, and we loved Josh, and what a great creative mind and talented brewer. I remember our neighbor was Matt Gallagher. He was like, oh my God, you guys have to meet Jim. Jim is one of the most influential, iconic brewers in the country, and we all have the privilege of having him here in Chicago. And that was kind of where we got introduced to Eugene, and that was a light bulb beer for a coffee palate. It was that first porter that Rev came out with.
We all know that Dark Matter and Revolution are like this now, especially with Cafe D, Supermassive Cafe D, Stupermassive Cafe D. It started with Coffee Eugene at the brew pub, and then we've done it a few times here as well. The Eugene didn't perform as well in the barrels as something with a little bit more heft to it. That was one of the primary reasons we started focusing on stout rather than porter for barrels. We were losing an awful lot of product. A lot of the barrels we were buying weren't super fresh or high quality. So losing a lot of product to contamination. So swapping out the porter for the stronger stout and getting some better barrels, we stop losing all that beer. Then we can really start experimenting and aging beer longer and longer because we have more of it than we can sell all of a sudden. So now we have to sit on it for a whole nother season, a whole nother year in a lot of cases. The way that extended aging and then blending kind of unlocks all these other opportunities for more intensity, more balance, gave us a spot for more coffee, right? Because the porter could handle so much coffee before, you know, the coffee started to dominate, but the stout can handle a lot more. We're managing very tightly our extraction method so that we can get hyper intense coffee aromatics and flavors without bitterness, astringency, or anything that's going to dominate the coffee. So it's just been getting bigger and dumber and more coffee forward over the last decade plus.
I think with our barrel program starting and expanding, we started filling barrels at the brew pub, which was a lot of fun, but we just didn't have a lot of room down in the basement of the brew pub. But we were always filling barrels there from the start. But when it expanded over here to Kedzie, we knew we wanted to make it the best beer that we possibly could, and we were getting all spread a little bit thin with production expanding. So that's why I asked Marty if he wanted to take over the barrel program, because I really knew for it to be great, it was going to have to be somebody focusing on it 100%.
Oh my God, Marty. Marty is one of the most fascinating humans on the planet. If like there was all the chaos between coffee and beer, there's this like really interesting sphere that a lot of the old dark matter heads and rev heads, Marty specifically, in this like cannabis triangle that kind of puts it all together, where you really like, we are in sync. And we at Dark Matter, I think, are a little bit more over the top on the creative flow and boundary pushing, and Marty realized that. But this dude's like technical genius, over the top, educated, willing to do all of the crazy things that we'd throw at him, and then kind of scientifically put us in check here and there. And it just became a really fun relationship for everyone that works on these beers for both teams. I mean, yeah, Marty, what a good man.
You mean like when we got the phone call, it's like, you want to go to Guatemala, we're leaving in 5 days? Yeah. Something like that. I think we left on January 2nd, which is like great. You got 1 day to get rid of your hangover and hop on a plane. It was great. Like the spur of the moment aspect of how that trip came together made it really fun. In addition to just the trip itself, it was just like, let's go kind of mindset there. And then you're ready to explore, you're ready to meet people and see places and experience things, and you get out of your comfort zone. We did a fermentation in the concrete tanks, and that was really exciting. We brought hops with us, special hops, New Zealand hops we brought down. It was great to see the coffee fermenting. You don't, like, we're fermenters, but when I think about coffee, it's not the first thing that comes to my mind. You think about the roasting, to see how that fermentation can add a layer of flavor to the coffee, on top of the genetics and, you know, the altitude and all the conditions in which it's grown and picked. And so very cool to see.
Some of my happiest memories, the best, biggest, boldest memories that I had of that trip. Seeing the scale of the farm, was it like 4,000 foot from top to bottom, going up on a stone road or off-roading in a Land Cruiser, or hanging in the back of a pickup truck. Seeing the sunset or the sunrise over Fuego in the coffee fields up on the mountain. Seeing their relationship with that mountain water, how it can convey and how it can rinse and wash for pre-fermentation. Just getting to see the coffee fermentations rather than hear about them added a lot of meaningful context. The patio drying, everything, it was romantic. There were a lot of parallels in old world malting and other beer ingredient manufacturing.
When we make coffee beers and coffee stouts specifically, it started off with big and obnoxious boundary pushing, and I mean, there was a coffee beer that we did over 2,000 pour overs where we only extracted the front half of the pour over. We've done espresso shots, we've done concentrated kegs, We've done so many different approaches to coffee. At Dark Matter, we're really big contrarian. So if someone's like, you can't do it this way, then we want to prove that we can. Not that it's always the best thing to do, but we'll try. And Revolution was so good about putting balance into our extreme flavor without taking away the extremity of the extraction or the intensity that we wanted to get across with coffee.
We've partied together. We have a collaborative that parties together. It's a collaboration that parties together, I guess I would say, is a cool way to think about it. We've always offered beer. You always have offered coffee. Our customers love it when we're showcasing Death Star Cafe Death. You're right there pulling some espresso or pouring cold coffee for people to taste. So they get to see the process and follow along with the work that we do behind the scenes. We love to show that work. You know, I think we both have that in common, where we're really proud of the beverages we make and put forward. And the more that people learn about how we make it, the more they are likely to drink it.
From the beginning, we've always just, tried to learn from each other and make both of our products better. And I think that just keeps happening every year. I mean, not only with our beer. I mean, we love getting different coffee and just tasting coffee and beer and smelling coffee, and just like, I've learned so much from you guys. It's really been amazing. And so I think it's really a great symbiotic relationship. As we go further on, it's like a relationship that, just lasts, and we know it's going to keep going on, and we're just going to keep learning and making each other better, I believe.
You build a lot of trust, and I think Revolution does a ridiculous job where it's not even a conversation with us when we create. We have that much trust. The amount of tastings that go into a beer like that it's not a small undertaking. I mean, I think I come into like the last tasting with the big group. Our QC team, our roasting team, their brewing team. I mean, it's a really, really intuitive process, and we all have a lot of pride in it. And I think we make easily some of the best coffee beers in the country.